This is Ww3, with the question arising, is this the main reason for war? Especially what we're seeing in Syria right now. It looks like Syria has fallen. Rebel leaders taking control of Damascus, announcing al-Assad regime has fallen. Assad apparently fleeing the country. This new leader taking the stage. And they're saying that he is a former al-Qaeda leader, which is all backed by the West. And I just can't understand how some people out there can't see it unless you're glued to your mainstream establishment TV that's feeding you rhetoric that you're consuming constantly. You cannot see that Israel, Turkey, and the United States back these so-called rebels on the ground every step of the way. You know, Trump's over here tweeting out this and that we should stay out of it, but yet we've got troops that are in there, and they're obviously backing this side, because on the other side is Assad, Russia, and, you know, the enemy as it is out here on the world stage. We're definitely not sitting on that side. So it's rather obvious. This pipeline becomes key to all this, if you ask me, because this is what they've wanted to do for a long time, is get this pipeline running up through Saudi Arabia that will cut through Syria, right here, through Turkey, which is in on this, and then into Europe. And Turkey will get, you know, huge compensation for letting it go through their country. And this will be big for everyone that is in control of this region. They can then feed this area with energy. And you already know the West has bombed the Nord Stream pipeline, the one coming from Russia down into the area to feed Europe. So it's effectively trying to sever that line, and it will set up this new route. This is the proposed route right here for this pipeline. And it could never go down, never happen, unless they had control of this region. Now, they're saying Assad has vanished. There was what seems to be false reports out there floating around that a plane went down that could have had him in it. That's a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. There was no confirmations on none of that. It looks like he's in hiding, and it looks like he has negotiated to hand over power of the country. And this other guy's walked right in. Erdogan of Turkey knew as much and said as much openly. So this is a massive operation that went down rather quickly. And in terms of Damascus, you see Israel now pounding positions in there of whoever's left. So when the questions arise like, who's going to be responsible for leveling Damascus in the end? Well, it could be retaliation for everything that we're seeing go down right now. Anyhow, this is the latest. Join me on the live stream where I break this down in greater detail. Going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. Much love, y'all.
Shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, we give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
We plan to create
I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Blessed is the salutations
10 millionaires through
noise in his gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a quick lesson through, well, I won't say a quick lesson, but this is a lesson through
stock trading within 100 days.
1 second.
Although I'm often called a selfish cap.
A U.S. withdrawal from NATO is very...
This is several, man, this is kind of interesting because I was kind of briefly looking into this whole Syrian conflict, which allegedly Syria was overthrown by ISIS rebels, which we know that ISIS stands for the Israeli Secret Intelligence, or the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, which is pretty much a proxy or a T group that was funded by the state of Israel, okay, and Babylon the Great. As we know that they set up these particular proxies and these splinter groups to do their bidding, you know, and they pay off certain opposing factors, I'll say it that way, to get their confiscation on oils and lands and regions. And as we was watching Dabu, he was going into the whole concept of the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, as Biden mentioned, maybe 2 years ago, that, you know, it was possibly that they was going to sabotage it, which everybody found out that it was the West. But come long story short, this guy Bashar al-Assad, which is the leader over Syria, has allegedly fled to Moscow, and basically Syrian government has failed because America been wanting to destabilize that region for some time, even going back into 2014 when those particular coups were set up to confiscate particular oil and particular resources they can use and pretty much beat out the competition, man. Because it's all about grabbing resources and stealing resources from people, according to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. That's what Esau does, But I believe Syria was a sovereign state, and there was no fly zones that was set up over Syria. But yet, Babylon the Great, they like to impede on people's privacies and freedoms, man. Okay, which this is all Bible prophecy at the end of the day. All right, and on top of that, setting up central banks in other people's countries to get them to force under your dollar, so you can have control of the wealth, and then you're able to topple these particular dictatorships without any repercussions behind it. Like if you pay attention to what happened down in Venezuela, hey, that's all Babylon the Great's doing. And this is why they seen records of mass inflation out there, to the point people were literally eating out trash cans, man. All right, but this is just another step towards World War. We're in the third world. Okay, that's no doubt about it. We're in the third world, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that, and this is just another step closer to World War III finally becoming a hot war that the West is denying that they're in with Russia. All right, because you got to understand that Russia and Syria are allies, man. Okay, and this is why that this guy flee to Damascus, not Damascus, Slovakia. I'm reading the comments, but this is the reason why this guy Assad fled to Moscow, because it's like a refuge city for in Russia, because they're allies, man. All right, and somehow, some way, the Lord is gonna have the Americans or Babylon the Great to lock horns with this Russian, man, and that's prophecy, because it says here Trump calls for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine and says a U.S. withdrawal from NATO is possible. That's going into Revelation, the 17th chapter, when it said that the beast shall hate the whore. Okay, we mentioned that America was going to do something that was going to cause severe tensions between their partnerships in the NATO and the EU, and before you know it, everything is going to be separated, which is going to leave America to fend for itself in this coming nuclear destruction. Okay, so this thing is getting real interesting, man. All right, so let me give a precept real quick, and I'm gonna play some of this video here by Steve Ram, because he kind of goes into it. As I mentioned, I'm getting details here and there, but I haven't really got the in depth as to what's going on, because there's so much that's going on. But we do know that these tensions between Syria and America have been rising for the last 10 years. All right, so let me get a precept real quick, and then we gonna take it from there. All right, so this is the book of Ww3, and I'm going to start at verses 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." Okay, and I know the brother had did a video on it, and he mentioned how the Euphrates runs through Syria. So when you go into the Valley of Jehoshaphat, matter of fact, let's look here. Let's go here real quick. Let's look up what they call the Middle East map, right? Because there's no such thing as Middle East, but for edification's sake, we're gonna call it the Middle East. All right, but let's get this map here. Bam. All right, so you have Saudi Arabia. Okay, you got Yemen here. You got Iran. All right. Then you got Turkey, which technically this is all Asia. Okay, you got what they call Eastern Asia, Southern Asia. Okay, you got Western Asia, and then you have Turkey. You got Syria, which Syria is clearly here. Then you have Damascus. Then you have Israel, which is on its cusp. And then this is where the scriptures mention that World War III would take place right around this region here. Hold on, this damn thing tripping. Let's do this. Around this region here, this is what we can expect the third war. okay? Which is what Esau calls the Middle East. Now, going back here, it says, proclaim you this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near and let them come up, all right? So this is a call to war. As we know that the tensions in the world was on high, the American economy is pretty much on its last leg, to say the least. Tensions are rising, prices of living is going up, you know, groceries, all this shit is getting expensive, man. All right, and yet you still got people that's out here playing around, denying the name of the Heavenly Father. But yet Bible prophecy is really speaking to us, you know, which just shows you the type of spirit that these men are in. But it says, beat your plowshare into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say I'm strong, because Syria is considered a hermit or a weaker nation, okay? Because they need an allied power behind it. So you have Iran, you have Syria, you have Russia, China, North Korea, okay? And various other Arab nations, all right? That's joined hands with the Russians to go against the Western Allied forces, man, which eventually all these forces will turn on America. But it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, thither to cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And this is what we're seeing take place. All right. So I'm going to play a couple of minutes of this video, and we're going to get a couple more precepts, because like I said, I want to watch this thing a little bit more closely. That way I can come back and do a more thorough report, and kind of, you know, catch brothers up on what's really going on, because everybody's watching. Brothers know, but this is just for the people out there that's not familiar with the channel, or that haven't, you know, that's not hip to Bible prophecy. But this is shit. If you can't see that we're in the time of Yahushua's return, then, I mean, I don't really know what to tell you at this point. But let's play a couple of minutes of this, and we get another precept, and that'll be it.
Going on. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. And again, all of this coming out today, December the 8th, 2024, as we are seeing some major news unfolding here. Let me go ahead and get you caught up on the latest. So let's take a look at the latest headlines coming out. Trump calls for immediate ceasefire in Ukraine and says a U.S. withdrawal from NATO is very possible right now. And we are hearing that he is threatening to exit NATO. Wait till you see the latest headlines on this. I'm going to share with you the video footage. Donald Trump gives only one condition for the U.S. remaining in NATO. This is shocking the world right now. Is Trump?
And I'm about to come back and do a lesson on that too. That's a whole lesson in itself. That's matter of fact, that's Revelation, the 17th chapter, 17 and going down. So I think it's 15. Yep. Matter of fact, 16, when it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which the 10 horns goes into NATO and the EU, or mainly the EU, which are 28 nations. But it says, you know, and the thief that hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Okay, this is that prophecy coming to pass. So when this is said and done, before all this really hits the fan and World War III finally becomes a nuclear hot war, America is going to be severed from its enemies. I mean, from its allies. And they all going to come in alliance and shoot missiles on this place. So that's the plot twist right there. Nobody's seeing coming. And this is why he mentioned that everybody is shocked. Well, we're not shocked because the scriptures say that will happen. All right. Bible prophecy has never been on the back foot. It's always been the come forward, counterfired, and has always been the test of time prophecy. For those of you that deny the Bible, oh, the Bible was written by man, the Bible is this, but you can't deny the prophecies that's coming to pass. Okay, everything is written by a damn man. Hell, your curriculums in school are written by men. Hell, the cereal box, fucking caption, Wheaties caption is written by a man. But when it comes to the Bible, they like to try to discredit the scriptures by saying, oh, it's written by man, because deep down inside, they know the scriptures cut them. You know, which is highly disrespectful, man. That's written by man, but yet your LGBT curriculum that you follow in your feminism is written by men, but yet you hold that to the standard. You people are wicked, man. All right, but anyway, let's go.
Is saying he is ready to leave NATO. He's saying it's one-sided, it's unfair, and these other nations, they're taking advantage of the U.S., and he's saying he is sick of it. Now, if you think that this is a good idea, drop a 47. If you think no, stay with NATO, drop NATO in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. But Trump is saying it is time to leave. In addition to that, as I mentioned, take a look at this. Today, U.S. strikes dozens of ISIS camps and operatives in Syria amid Assad's downfall. We are hearing that there are U.S. strikes taking place in Damascus, in Syria, and also this is happening with Israel as well. Israel bombs Damascus as 50-year peace deal ends with Assad overthrown. Direct result of our forceful actions. We are hearing that right now Damascus is being turned into ruins, piles of rubble, as the United States and Israel are striking them as well, because they're saying there is a vacuum being left behind as Assad has left the nation. And we are hearing that there are these rebel groups that are backed by ISIS. And so it's getting even worse, the potential control. So we are hearing that right now Damascus is being destroyed before our very eyes. Now, in addition to that, take a look at...
You see, and this is the reason why everybody's going to rise up to this damn devil, man. All right, because I mean, this devil, he operates with no impunity. He just do it. He just destroys, man. People are tired of Esau, man. Like, and it's always them two. It's always Babylon and Amalek, which, you know, is really Amalek at the end of the day. Okay, Babylon is just a pawn in Amalek's hand. That America is basically the sword behind Amalek, man. Okay, Amalek is more like the dictator. Babylon is like the sword, the power. You know what I'm saying? Vatican City being more of their spiritual successor, and then you have the UK, which is the financial capital behind it. Because with anything, you know, if you're harboring great wealth, or you want to conquer, then you gotta have money, you gotta have firepower, and you gotta have some type of deity that's behind these things, man. You know. So this man is literally destroying the world, and this is what's going to happen to him. So this is the book of Habakkuk 2, and I'm going to start at verses 5. It says, yea, because he transgressed by wine, which is the philosophies. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is death, and cannot be satisfied. Yeah, man. The hell you doing in Syria? They got no fly zones out there. The hell you coming to Syria for? What do you have to do with that? You know, but like we mentioned, you know, Israel wants to create an opening within the Mediterranean to harbor more resources and to steal more resources, man. And they're using Babylon to do it. Okay, same thing with the destruction of Noah 1 and 2. That was all a strategic move. That was basically a declaration of war. Okay, to cut off energy from parts of Europe to Russia. That's a dangerous game you playing. And the nations are sitting back waiting to retaliate against you, man. Because everybody knows that you're behind it. And it says here, it cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heaping unto him all people. And this is what he's trying to do when he overthrew Syria. All right, they said that this guy, Bashar al-Assad, fled into Moscow. What do you think he's going there for? To get help to Russia from Russia. Okay, you don't think he's consulting with Putin to get some help or to see how they're going to retaliate and strike? Because they're not going to back down, all right? Just like the whole conflict between Israel and Iran. You know, you may have a temporary peace deal, but that's not going to last too long, okay? Because the scripture said that war was in his heart. So Esau does not know peace, man. But it says, shall not these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his, and how long to him that laden himself with thick clay, which is debt. Because it's all about stealing resources, man, all right? Resources and putting people in slavery and using people for free labor. Okay, but it's mainly about resources. When the fact that America don't need oil, they have oil reserves that last them the next 600-700 years, but yet you want to go over there and take other people's wealth and wonder why people don't like you and wonder why people wants to destroy your society. But then you have the audacity to call people the big T word when they're not playing ball with your slander, man. This man is the devil. But it says, shall they not rise up suddenly that should bite thee, and should awake that should vex thee, and thou shalt be booties into them? And booties goes into spoil, because you're spoiling other nations, they're going to spoil you. But it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people should spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land and the city and all that dwell therein, all right? So it's going to come a time that these nations are going to rise up against you, and they're going to take you, man. All right, and this is why everybody is talking about coming. This is why everybody is moving like Matt Putin, and they're moving nuclear weapons. They're moving things, man. They're moving weapons, cash. Shit isn't They're moving things to borders because they're getting ready to go to war. Okay, 2025, man. Hey, Lord's will, this be the year that finally we can see some move in prophecy, which we are seeing prophecy move, but it's little small pockets. Okay, we need the big hand to turn, which is that MOTB. You know, once the MOTB comes, then we literally have mere seconds, not literal seconds, but we have literally a short time left before the Lord decides to come back and deliver his elect, man. So we rooting for this shit. All right. Ezekiel 38, and it reads, it says here, and I will return 38, and I'm going to start at verses 4, and it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth from all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shield, all of them handling swords, all right? So this is basically going into Russia. It's not basically, this is going into Russia and their allies, man. Okay, you had what they call the USSR, which stands for I don't remember what the USSR stands for. I'm not even going, it's not even important. I mean, we can look it up, but it's really not really that important. You know, I just call them the Eastern Bloc. Okay. But anyway, but you know, we should know what it stands for. So let's look it up anyway. Let's look it up because I knew what it meant. I just forgot it because I don't really look into it every day. But the Soviet Union, and it goes into Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Okay, Soviet Socialist, that's what it means. I can't remember. But it says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth in all thy army and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. See, these are the nations they're naming. And if you look at these nations, whether they're on the BRICS or in some type of partnership with Russia, it's adding up to the T. Okay, like the Lord said that his word should not return unto him void. The word is going out, and this is exactly what the Lord said. And these are the same nations that's in league with Russia right now. You know? It says, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer with his bands in the house of Togomar in the north quarters, because guess what? Turkey, eventually, they're going to drop out of NATO. Because they've already expressed interest in joining a BRICS alliance. So right there, that's this getting ready to come to pass. But it says, Togomar in the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. Syria. But be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And this is why Assad ran into Moscow, all right? Because Russia is acting as that guard to these smaller nations, man, all right? So the war is going to take place between two superpowers, America and Russia. Okay, now China is a superpower too, but China is going to take the stance of Russia. And that's two superpowers you can't fend off for long. And on top of that, you're going to lose NATO and the EU. So you're fighting the whole world by yourself, man. And that goes back into Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. When all the remnant of the people, which the remnant as well goes into the elect as well. But the remnant, the nations are going to rise up against you, man, and spoil you, because we are going to spoil you in the kingdom. All right. And these other nations, they're getting ready to spoil you on this side too. All right. But anyway, I'm going to play a little bit more of this video and end it with giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord's will, you are edified. Until the next lesson. Shalom.
Look at this. Israel strikes. This coming out today, December the 8th. This is actually a live update feed. Israel strikes in Damascus today have been very intensive. Defense sources say we are watching Damascus being destroyed by the U.S. and by Israel. Bombs are dropping in. Now, in addition to that, I'm seeing 47's people saying, hey, they agree with Trump. Get out of the NATO agreement. This is too one-sided. I am seeing a couple of NATOs coming in. Do me a favor while you're doing that. Don't forget, take a second, hit the like button if you appreciate all the breaking live news updates. Also, where is Assad? Conflicting reports are surfacing. Now, I had shared with you the news coming out that we had heard that a couple of days ago. We had heard that Assad had fled Syria with all of the rebel groups pouring in. However, we had heard that that potentially was just rumors, that he actually was still there. Now, in addition to that, we had heard that last night, as I shared with you, Syrian president may have lost his life in a plane crash after fleeing rebels in Damascus, says the reports. We had heard that his personal plane had left. It had made some strange maneuvers and then appeared to disappear from the radar. Many saying there was rumors circulating around that it had crashed, that he had lost his life. They believe that him and his entire family was on the plane, and they have disappeared. We have not been able to confirm this. However, take a look at this as well. As you know, I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it. I shared with you from Reuters the information coming out on this. So take a look at this. Reuters reported that Assad may have lost his life in a plane crash. Later, they have now removed that report. They have deleted that report about him potentially losing his life in the plane crash. So we are still not sure. Now, as of today, though, December the 8th, we are hearing that Assad has arrived in Moscow and is granted asylum by Russia. Russia is claiming that he is in Russia seeking asylum. They have taken him in. And so there is a lot unfolding with war going on around the world. The United States caught up on in all of this. And we're also hearing they're threatening now to exit NATO, saying that is one-sided. I'm going to share with you the video footage. And lastly, in addition to that, if you have not heard, take a look at this. Northern Lights alert. After